Cardiopulmonary exercise testing is a fairly new diagnostic test to the medical field, which has recently been proven to be among the best preventative diagnostics in the world. This test would otherwise require referral to the cardiologist, pulmonologist, and nutritionist. The benefits of performing this testing in office at your physician's office include significantly decreased cost and convenience associated with having to drive all around town to various specialists. Furthermore, the cardiopulmonary exercise test not only rules out the underlying conditions related to your symptoms or decreased performance, but can also be geared towards improving the efficiency of a lifestyle change plan. The cardiopulmonary exercise test includes a series of various testing, starting with the resting metabolic rate test. This test involves you to sit at rest for about 15 to 20 minutes with a mask on while we analyze oxygen consumption versus carbon dioxide production to tell you exactly how many calories you should be eating per day. This allows for very data-driven weight management, so instead of just recommending 2,000 across the board to everybody, we can now tell you how many calories to maintain your current weight, gain a pound a week, or lose a pound a week. These calories are further broken down into macronutrient to really streamline the process for you. Next, we would move on to a series of pulmonary function testing to rule out any underlying obstructive or restrictive lung conditions that are very frequently causing things like shortness of breath, fatigue, chest pain, and so on. The next step would be hooking you up to a resting 12-lead EKG, which requires us to apply electrodes over your skin and then attach lead wires, which we're able to rule out any underlying conductivity issues, any recent heart attacks, any signs of overtraining, or other heart conditions that may be limiting your performance or also causing symptoms. Once we have determined that it's safe to proceed, we will set you up with our exercise test here on a cycle ergometer. The test begins very easy and progressively gets more difficult as we get going. This test goes to full volitional exhaustion, meaning we're going until you're unable to pedal any longer. During this test, we're doing full 12-lead stress monitoring, just like a stress test that would normally have to be referred to the cardiologist, as well as a VO2 max anaerobic threshold assessment. The data obtained during our VO2 max test allows us to tell you exactly how fit you are in your population, thereby avoiding things like crude BMI assessments, which directly correlates with your risk of heart disease as well. We can also determine your optimal heart rate training zones, so we can tell you what heart rate to train at where you're optimally burning fat without breaking down too much muscle, as well as where you're optimally conditioning. These heart rate training zones are proven to increase the efficiency of exercise by about 150%. So instead of exercising for 60 minutes, we can get you the same benefit in roughly 40 minutes if you're following our recommendations. We also use this data to make actual exercise recommendations, including how fast you should run on a treadmill, how quick you should bike, as well as a number of recreational activities that will focus on your fat burning or your improved conditioning. On the back end of the testing, we will repeat the pulmonary function testing again to rule out any exercise-induced conditions such as bronchospasms or exercise-induced asthma, which very frequently go undiagnosed. Cardiopulmonary exercise testing is a great screening tool prior to referrals to these specialists, including symptoms related to chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, asthma, COPD, or obesity. Intermittent retesting of the cardiopulmonary exercise test will allow for objective quantification of improvement, showing you how your exercise is related to decreasing your heart and lung age, as well as your risk of heart disease over the next 10 years. Call us today to get your appointment set for your cardiopulmonary exercise test.